at 6:33. Reminder to everyone who's here, meeting is being digitally recorded, so please watch what you say and how you listen, be respectful of everybody. Is there anyone here for open session? Okay. Katie's not here, so we'll skip the announcements for the time being. We have two items on the consent agenda. One is the approval of minutes of our meeting September 19th. Everyone was here at the meeting, of the three of us, everyone, and the whole board was. And accepting Michael Stotter's resignation from the Capital Planning Committee. If no one has any hold on either of these two, I'd like to get a consent agenda, a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
Motion made. Peter? Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, okay.
Peter, did you vote on that?
Yes,
We're almost right on time for
I'm
the
reading.
public hearing,
I'm sorry, I'm a little lost.
so go to new business. We published it as a 6:35 start of the hearing, so we should probably wait.
I think it says 6:30 here. Oh, I guess the
6:35.
newspaper, okay.
Yeah.
We can move on, it appears that
Are you folks here for the public hearing on the polls?
For National Grid.
Okay, all right.
So we can wait a few if you want, but Miss Judy is here.
Hmm?
Judy, the next item on our emergency management policy and procedures. If we wanna skip that, Mr. Chairman, the first two items, and go down to number C.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think how long that's gonna be, because if
That's
these
okay, you can
people-
start later
They're here
then.
for a hearing, and I'd rather not make them sit through all of our business.
Well, the only problem is that when we publish a hearing at a certain time and we start it before that, it doesn't give people proper notice. That's why a lot of times we don't publish the hearing time, we just say it at the start of the meeting.
Okay.
But if we do Miss Judy, I'm sure Judy has other things to do with her day, so she's not gonna be here all day.
Okay, so then we'll jump to item C for the, and Judy, you wanna come up and join us?
I have a Coke, a Spirit, or Tina and Dixon with me.
Okay,
Between us, we have a goodly amount of emergency management, so which is kind of fun. We both enjoy it. We're a little on the crazy side. So, 2 years ago, I started to, I was gonna come in every year and just update people, and then COVID hit. So that sort of messed everybody up. So, I brought back, my book that I had written back then with all of the disaster plan for the, town, that I wrote. And it's based on, what's called emergency support functions, and the state and federal, follow these functions, these different functions. So I just looked at them and, just picked out the ones that I thought were appropriate for a small town like us, and then added some, a table below where they could put in, plug in problems and issues that are coming up as the disaster unfolds, and then notes. And actually, I just had a conversation with the Westminster EMD today, and he has something similar. It's, of course, it's set up differently, because each person has their own way of doing things, but, he too, has gone the same route where, make a note of everything, and then we'll figure it all out and plug it into the right forms later. And Heather, you know about that very well. The only thing I did add to this particular, is this year I added, a, document on setting up a shelter for pets, because by law, we're required to be able to set up a shelter for dogs and cats, and if you're big enough, for birds and turtles, but no alligators. So,
Well, it's good, cause I have 2 cats and a turtle, so if you can accommodate, we're good.
so anyway, it's set up very similarly, with, the plan and then notes underneath so that people, can follow it, fairly quickly. So when I retire, hopefully, then, you'll have a log and all that other stuff all set up for you. Okay? And you can welcome, if you haven't seen it, you're welcome to.
I have it. I have it in here. Thank you.
Those forms I don't think are in here though.
No,
The
No,
the
no.
ones you said
Oh,
you
they're
added.
not? Oh,
No,
okay.
this is,
She added them in to the.
this is the whole plan.
So this is the original and this is the updated?
No, that's Judy's kit and caboodle, this is a component.
Okay.
Thank you. Now, this section, this is what I wanted to talk, this is my new presentation, the one I wanted to update you on. And this is what Tina and I have been working on for the last 6 months. And we put together several scenarios and then went back over them and edited them. And I did put them in alphabetic order, just for convenience, but we talked about what possible scenarios could Hubbardston.
Oh,
We're pretty well protected.
Hypothetical emergency situations, okay. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like earthquakes, tornadoes. We're living in a bubble, and so, the risk is pretty small, but the risk is not zero. So we put together scenarios, and then we put together like a plan. So a preparedness and prevention plan, and then there's some mitigation ideas, community education ideas, and then talked about a little bit of setting up for recovery and then rebuilding. So each scenario, we went with heat, and we went with frostbite, we went with blizzards, tornadoes, and the last one that we did, we started the last section, we started a new section, and that is on man-made problems like trucks rolling over and dropping hazardous waste on the road and on clouds in the sky. So,
Would a pandemic fall into this?
no, that's another plan that the Board of Health, and I put that together, and I actually have that plan at
So
home.
it does,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I actually have that plan at home because I'm in the process of updating. DPH sends out some updates of names and places and equipment and things like that.
Mhm.
And so I'm in the process of putting that in and making sure that's just updated and signed off for 2022. So that's where we're at. The other thing is with the Hubbardston Board of Health, we'll be looking at a quick plan. This one actually, we had one, and then I turned around and Sterling sent me, one of my MRC volunteers, sent me a copy to Sterling, so I read it through and I said, oh, this is better than ours, so I stole it. So.
Borrow it.
It's
No.
borrowed permanently. Yeah. So, so it's really well written, it's very comprehensive, so the Board of Health is gonna be looking at that at their next meeting, and their plan is to vote on it within either next meeting or meeting after. So that'll be completed by the end of the year.
So that's a replacement version for the one that we got in our
Nope,
packets.
that's the one this is another one.
Okay,
This is the one that you have right there.
yeah,
Okay, and this is the one that I had submitted a couple of years ago. I didn't make any changes, but it's the one that's been suggested that towns look at and consider, for administrative purposes. So that's something for you folks to kind of look at, review, and edit any way you want, and then implement it as you wish.
So Judy, on this one I noticed, so there's a lot of blank spaces similar to some of those write-in ones. Is this meant to be the same, that you write it in as you go, or these things we should be writing in now?
I think we should consider writing something in now and then update it every year.
So this is something that, alright, as board members, we should be taking this home, putting it on a future agenda, giving some thought to how we wanna fill in some of these blanks and coming back as a group and putting them down.
Correct,
Okay.
correct.
Now, I have a question for you, Judy.
Okay.
So you have these wonderful documents right here.
Yeah.
Do you have additional copies of them? Does someone else have a copy? Cause, you know, if something ever to happen to
Well,
you or you
that's my-
win the lottery tonight.
Good
I know.
segue, huh?
Yes, that's why Tina and I here well, it was 2
There's
years
a lot of
ago.
tickets here, just in case you're worried.
2 years ago, I asked for a closet, and I was denied, so I'm back here asking for a closet. The Board of Health desk got moved, their desk, space got moved. That opened up that space with a locked door underneath the library. The COA, I understand, uses it 1 hour a week, so that to do payroll. And then, I guess for a while, the veterans agent was using it for 3 hours a week. I don't mind sharing an office, but that would be a perfect place. It has electricity, so we can plug in our radios that we own, as part of the emergency management. It has desk, and I have a whole crate full of manuals and guidebooks and everything else. She's working on an associate's degree. I have a number of college credits also towards an associate's degree in emergency management. So I think we can give a lot to the town, but like you said, it should be where anybody, if I'm vacationing in Florida, that would be there, it would be available. I'm trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, but it should be on a town space, and it should be available.
And you're saying there are 3 groups using it, or 3 different,
So that's,
I'm trying to picture where it is over there.
it's way in the back, there's a little office way in the back, and so.
As you go in to the
Our
right,
Mart, no,
Off
to
to
the
where
left.
the
you go in, take
conference,
and go all
If you
the,
took a sharp left
Yeah.
and you walked in and then down a corridor and
Oh,
take
wait.
another left.
oh, that's a meeting room.
It's
Yeah.
it's a little
We
tiny
used to have
office.
it's off at the meeting room.
Okay, 'cause I'm-
It's off.
I've had,
It's
I've
got
had
a door,
I've had
it's-
meetings there, yeah, okay,
Right,
yeah.
it's got a door, it's got a
Alright.
lock, it's got electricity,
Yeah.
it's, my understanding, it has a desk, and it would be with shelving, and I really would love to have that, so the emergency management, which is part of infrastructure of the town, you know, is given a space to, place manuals and place equipment that's important, for
Do
when
you
it's.
need anything to be able to be in a secure location or locked up?
Well, if you've got radios, they walk. If
Yeah,
you've got other
that's true.
equipment, it's gonna walk.
Cause I'm assuming there aren't, not a lot of different groups using it, I don't see that there is anything there that could be for secure or confidential things.
No, I mean, our Mart supervisor is in there, she's usually in there, and I honestly don't know how many hours a week she's in there, and then our veterans agent was using that space as well. We are in transition with the vet agent, so I'm not sure what the new vet agent is going to be doing.
Is this a possibility, Sandy, or?
We
it-
can look into it, it's a tiny
Yeah.
space, and,
When I looked at it, the vet has, they do have a, file cabinet, and it's locked.
right,
So that's fine, it's off in a corner and it's fine. So that still leaves plenty of space for emergency management to bring in what we need.
Mhm.
So what do you need, like a file cabinet to keep all your books in?
Um,
Let me say this, for each emergency, are they each in their own folder?
yes,
Okay, so you need a spot to line them up in sequential order, however
Correct.
they are,
And then
or by
also,
emergency.
correct, and then also for radios and other
So you need a
small
file,
items,
basically a file cabinet.
we
Or
just need a
bookshelf.
space, yeah,
Yeah.
sure,
Or-
bookshelves.
Yeah, but a secure one,
Right,
where you can keep your radios and the books.
right,
So one of those flip-up tops or something that
Right.
locks.
So is this something, Sandy, that between you and Nate and Judy, you guys can
We'll
see what
work
you
on
can come
that.
up with?
It's important, very important.
And see if we can get emergency management, a dedicated location for utilization.
We will work on that.
Okay,
so my concern is, radios will lock, so we wanna make sure that we've got some sort of lock and key.
Yeah, and we gotta have, they have to be in a space where if neither one of you are available, we all have to have access to it. As a select board, we need to know where it is, and we need to familiarize ourselves with it. So we need to go through A through B and know how to get to it.
Right.
Open the proper book that we're gonna need for the issue,
Right.
and go from there. So
Right.
it's very important.
making it part of the general overall plan too, exactly
Yeah,
Right,
where everything is,
right,
yeah.
but you gotta be able to find it.
Right, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest thing. I mean, in my previous experiences with disorders from where I used to work, we had disorder plans for everything, earthquakes, hurricanes, nuclear war, same thing, emergency management. But you had to know where to find it,
right,
so that's the biggest thing.
yeah. And we've never had a dedicated space,
Yeah,
and we really should have.
yeah, you should really,
I
Murphy's
appreciate
Law
the amount of
says-
work you put into it too.
You'll be
That's-
on vacation when something hits.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
this shouldn't be at your home.
This is a
You know what
lot
I
of
mean?
work.
We'll
It
be in Las
should be in
Vegas.
a central location, available to the administrator or the select board, because we need it now.
Right.
Not tomorrow, yesterday,
Right.
you know?
Exactly, exactly.
So Sandy,
So-
is this something we can put on one of our agendas for sometime in December, the hoop plan, so we can circle back to it?
Sure. Yep.
The intent of,
The intent of filling in the
filling
blanks,
in
Jeff.
all the blanks, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
If that's okay, cause that will give us a little bit, and plus with Katie and KP not being here, it gives them an opportunity to review the document and do some homework.
and I'll have to look at this again too, but we might also, in conjunction with this, need other people to be at that meeting who can offer
Right.
some of the information that we wouldn't know or think about.
You wanna just make it all up, Jeff?
Sure.
Judy, do you need anything else from us tonight?
Nope, I just wanted to update you and thank for my closet, so now that I've got a chance for a closet, I'm happy.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for your work and the time you
Both
put
of you.
into that,
Appreciate it.
and we appreciate it, and I can't wait to have it in one spot so I can go dive into it and
All right,
just broaden my horizon.
learn about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Judy, thank you,
Okay.
Tina.
Thank you.
Thank
I'll give this
you.
back to you for now.
Sure.
Thank you.
Katie's saying she didn't know there was a meeting.
She's what?
Have a good night.
She didn't know there was a meeting.
Katie didn't know there was a meeting?
That's okay, Jeff.
We mentioned it at our last meeting besides that, too. Wow, that's unusual for her. Okay, and we'll go back up to the items A and B. Formally opening up the public hearing. I need to read this before we open it up to you. To the Board of Selectmen of Hubbardston, Massachusetts. Petition for joint or identical pole locations. Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid, and Verizon New England Incorporated request permission to locate poles, wires, and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the following public way. Main Street, National Grid to replace/remove 8 JO poles on Main Street. 4 Williamsville Road, 1 Lowell Street, 1 Gardner Road. 2, and relocate 21 JO poles on Gardner Road, High Street, Main Street, Lowell Street. Mass Dot Project number 608793, road widening, multiple locations, Gardner Road, Williamsville Road, Lowell Street, Main Street, Route 68 feeder, 01-602W2 road widening, intersection and signal improvement. National Grid to remove and replace 29 poles from multiple streets. National Grid to remove, install equipment. OHSEC wires. Remove, install secondary cables to new pole sets along Gardner Road, Williamsville Road, Lowell Street, Main Street, Route 68. National Grid to install three-phase slash single-phase primary slash secondary. Location approximately is shown on plan that was attached to this. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing as provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires, together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed herewith marked Main Street, Hubbardston, Mass. Number 258-39237, September 7th, 2022. Also for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting public ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and buildings as each of said petitioners may desire for distributing purposes. Your petitioner agrees to reserve space for one cross arm at a suitable point on each of said poles for the fire, police, telephone, and telegraph signal wires belonging to the municipality and used by it exclusively for municipal purposes. By that being said, would you introduce yourself and let us hear what you're here for?
Sure, I'm Laura from National Grid. When y'all read these things, you pretty much sum everything up. So, really, only if you have any questions for me about anything technical or anything, I can answer anything for y'all.
I don't have any questions because this was, I think we had someone here earlier this
You
fall.
might have.
Who spoke on this,
Yeah.
I believe, a gentleman, I'm trying to think of. But, rest of the board, do you have any questions concerning this?
Gotta be done.
So basically, you're just here and it's our job, hopefully, to give you a vote to approval of all this, right?
Yes, sir.
So just
Okay.
moving these, is this mostly because of the work on 68?
Yes.
So this is all due to our project on 68, you guys have to move the
Town
poles
center
accordingly.
project, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
They
Cause
took the trees
otherwise we're
down.
gonna plow.
Well,
They
yeah.
took the trees down today.
Yeah, I heard, I talked to the Department of Transportation engineer, and he said that they'd already started the tree work, so.
Okay, and we have to go through this twice because they're different. Okay, so,
Well, do you have
Do
to
you wanna
vote
do this
on-
one first?
so we're gonna
Yeah.
vote on, so if there's no more discussion, could we have a motion to approve the, the one that I just read? How can we get,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to offer a motion to both
just a minute, so you'll know, because this is the only number I can see that has it, because this one's different, so that's the number that we're approving.
Got it,
Oh, you got it, okay, thank
yes,
you.
sir.
Okay.
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing as well as to approve the petition for the joint or identical pole locations from Massachusetts Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid and Verizon New England, Inc. for Main Street, Hubbardston, Mass. number 258-39237, dated September 7th, 2022.
Motion made,
Second.
second, okay. Any discussion on this item? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So approved. Now we have a second. The hearing is not closed totally, it's just now we're on this item, which I also have to read. Okay, so this is the second one. To the Board of Selectmen of Hubbardston, Massachusetts, petition for joint or identical pole locations. Massachusetts Electric Company, DBA National Grid and Verizon New England, Inc. request permission to locate poles, wires and fixtures, including the necessary sustaining and protecting fixtures along and across the following public way. Brigham Street, National Grid to install 2 jail poles on Brigham Street, beginning at a point approximately 25 feet north of the center line of the intersection of Old Westminster Road and New Westminster Road, and continuing approximately 2,375 feet in a southwest direction. Installing 2 poles along Brigham Street, P 52-84 and P 32-84. See attached sketches. Location approximately is shown on the plan attached. Wherefore it prays that after due notice and hearing is provided by law, it be granted a location for and permission to erect and maintain poles and wires, together with such sustaining and protecting fixtures as it may find necessary. Said poles to be erected substantially in accordance with the plan filed herewith marked Brigham Street, Hubbardston, Massachusetts, number 305773112, dated September 21, 2022. Also for permission to lay and maintain underground laterals, cables, and wires in the above or intersecting public ways for the purpose of making connections with such poles and buildings as each of said petitioners may desire for distributing purposes. Your petitioner agrees to reserve space for one cross arm at a suitable point on each of said poles for the fire, police, telephone, and telegraph signal wires belonging to the municipality and used by it exclusively for municipal purposes. Do you have anything to say on this one?
So for this one, what we're doing is working on the reliability of the span of road, and forgive me, I don't know the name of it, but it's between Brigham Street and New Westminster Road. So we're gonna be reconductoring that entire stretch of road there. And the two poles that we're asking for permission from y'all, the 52-84, 32-84, are what's called a stub pole. And basically what that is a support pole for the extra weight that these
Those are the
lines
ones that are
gonna
on
be.
an angle? Is that-
No, that's a push brace.
Okay.
This is just a regular pole across the street from the pole we need to support.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is, and there's a guy wire that goes across the street to support it.
I get, okay, all right. Anything else?
No, sir.
Any questions?
No, we discussed this a while back, didn't we? Well, I remember this coming up Brigham Street anyways a while back, so, no, I'm good.
Heather, anything?
Oh,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, will you
Yes.
accept a motion?
Yes, I will, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to close the hearing as well as to approve the petition for joint or identical pole locations from Mass Electric Company, DBA National Grid, and Verizon New England Inc. For the Brigham Street, Hubbardston, Massachusetts, number 305773112, September 21st, 2022.
Second.
Motion made and second. Okay, any discussion? All right, you can abstain because you weren't
Yeah,
here,
I have
okay?
no idea what we're talking about right now, so
So all in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed, abstain?
abstain.
One. Motion's carried.
Okay.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks so much.
You're all
Yeah,
set.
You're very
Thank you.
welcome.
Okay, so now we're down to item D. Okay. Incidentally, while you get a chance, we have quite a lot of things to sign if you wanna just do that.
Well, we
while you-
haven't approved it yet, so
Oh.
she can probably sign it after we approve it.
That's probably a better idea, huh?
Can you go grab a pen?
Okay, the next item is to refinance for dump truck / fire truck. Basically, what we have to do here is to approve the loan and sign the documents. That's basically what we've been signing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, that's just.
Yeah.
So basically, after discussing, we were voting to approve the borrowing of the money.
5 copies.
Cindy, can you explain?
Sure. So this was originally financed back in November of 2017 for the fire truck. We've been paying down approximately $50,000 a year. We're down to $350,000, which is the amount of this loan. And we've also we've combined it with a loan that we had for a DPW truck, so now it's combined into one loan. So the outstanding balance is $350,000. We took bids last week, and I am not happy to say that the interest rate that we got, the lowest interest rate we got was 4.15%. After having loans under 1%, that's quite the hit. But
It's only gonna
we
go
don't have
higher
much
too,
choice.
probably, yeah.
So this is a 1-year loan. It will come due next November, at which time we can either pay down, well, we have to pay down some of it. That amount can vary. We also can pay off the whole thing. We can also turn it into a long-term note at that point,
okay.
which we have opted not to do past practices, so, with the hope that maybe we can just get it paid off one of these days.
Get it out of the way, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have.
Go ahead, yes.
So, is it a 1-year note
Mhm.
continuously?
We've renewed it for a year. Actually, this one I think is 360 days.
360 days. So, can it be extended more than a year?
After that 1 year, we can do
So-
they would call it a long-term borrow.
So last year would have been the time to do the long-term
That would have
borrow
been-
under a better rate.
Right,
Okay,
right.
okay.
When our former town administrator was here, the idea was that because we're going to be paying off a $1.6 million loan that had been taken out years ago for the roads, that is gonna be paid off in fiscal '24, I believe, and once that happens, his thought was to pay this off on the next year, because we would then have the funds to
Mhm.
be able to do it.
Okay.
This makes sense. Yep.
So, what's the current finance rate?
What I had,
Yeah,
you don't wanna
I do wanna know.
know. I'd have to go
So let me
look.
say this, how much more is this loan gonna cost us
A lot.
compared to the current loan?
Well, the
4%.
current loan was for $400,000.
The original loan was 400?
No, what I financed last year at this time was 400,000, so we're
it's 50
paying off
grand a year.
50.
Okay,
And it's very sad.
It was under 1%, wasn't it,
It
Sandy?
was.
Ugh.
So
So
we
we're-
went
we're
up
gonna get-
3.15%.
so what is that gonna cost us for a year?
For this year, it's going to cost us $14,000,
So-
where last year I believe it was like
So about 1,100 a month, and
23.
compared to nothing.
I have the thing in the office. It's going to be
Okay.
14,000.
Alright, well, it is what it
change.
is, and we can't change it.
I can't do anything about
No.
it. No, the highest
Hopefully
bid
next
I
year will
will
be
tell
better.
you was over 5%.
Hopefully, so we're gonna do
So-
another 1 year, and then next year hit it again for another refi.
Yeah.
Okay, hopefully things will be better in another year.
Or pay it off.
Or pay it off, yep,
If we
sounds
get
good,
a windfall of
Yep.
some kind, right?
sounds good.
Have any questions?
I do not.
No.
Anything?
Sandy, can I just see that? I'll make a motion
You certainly can.
that.
Sorry to slow it down, but I just
Again,
wanted to bring myself
approve the
up to speed
borrowing.
on that.
Alright.
Mr. Chairman, will you accept a motion?
Yes, I will, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that the select board approve and sign the renewal anticipation serial loan for the departmental equipment of the fire truck in the amount of $350,000 with the date of issue November 17, 2022 at an interest rate of 4.15% per annum.
Motion is made
Second,
and second. Discussion.
Sorry.
I know,
Questions?
there's not a lot we can do about it, so,
Can't read the future.
yeah,
No discussions? Okay. Then all in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Opposed? Motion's carried. Alright. Item E. This was, we brought this up when we had the meeting with Nathan about having changing dates for the upcoming December select board meetings, as well as, well, I'll just deal with item E first. So this is mainly to get a vote from the board accepting the change of dates of our next meetings in December. They'd be December 6th and December 20th. They're both Tuesdays.
So it'd be
That was-
changing it from the 5th to the 6th
Yeah,
and the
Yeah.
19th to the 20th.
Right.
Yep.
That way Nathan would be able to join us.
Mhm.
So is there
So
any
that's
questions? Or
Tuesday?
Yes, they'd be
I
on
mean, I already
Tuesday.
had the 6th one, I just
Yeah.
said
Tuesday the 20th.
Tuesday,
and the
I'm good.
Do that.
That's for the select board meeting. So yeah, we need a motion to,
I'd like to make a motion
go ahead.
to change the upcoming December select board meetings from 12:05 to 12:06 and from 12:19 to 12:20.
Okay, motion made
Second.
and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Yes, opposed, motion carried. Item F is the appreciation, volunteer appreciation, date change again, so that Nathan can also come to that. The date is going to Sandy is going to be December 12th from 4:30 to 6 o'clock. So again,
What was it? I can't remember what the date was.
We were gonna do it on the fifth I believe, was the first date
The 5th. So
of
change it
December,
from-
so we're changing it to the 12th.
Okay.
Mondays work better because we're here till 6 anyway.
Mhm.
And usually we set up and clean up and that kind of thing, so a Monday night works better. We also thought this might be a good opportunity to introduce a lot of the members of the boards to Nathan, since he will have started, and this might be a good,
Icebreaker.
So that still is a Monday, correct?
it is still a
12th, okay.
the 12th is a Monday,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So I'd like to make a motion to change the date of the volunteer appreciation from 12:05 to 12:12, from 4:30 to 6:30. 6.
motion made
Second.
and second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, opposed?
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. ARPA, the old business.
Super fun time.
Since KP is not here tonight, and this has been such a big debate with all of us, should we consider holding off on this to the next meeting, just to give everyone an opportunity to be present at the table for the discussion?
Have we even heard back from John?
So,
Did you
a quick update, I did hear from him, and he said, does next week work? Meaning this week. And I replied and I said, I had talked to Howard Dono and Associates, and I replied to him and I said, yes, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday would work best, and I have heard nothing. And the guy from Howard Dono is going bonkers, cause, you know, his schedule's filling up. And I finally said to him today, I don't know what to tell you, you know, you make your plans and
Yeah,
we'll go
yeah,
from there.
Yeah, that's,
When did you hear back from John? Or
Last
from you?
Thursday?
Okay, and you haven't heard back from him since?
No,
Okay.
so I don't know if he is on his way or, you know, I
Okay.
don't know anything, so.
But at least we heard from him, so we know
Yeah.
he's interested,
Or
so
something.
Correct,
Okay.
that answers that question.
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, I'm fine with pushing it off. I don't have, I mean, I hate to say that to the applicants, but
so, are we
I do
open
have a
for,
question before we,
yeah, are we open for discussion on this?
before we table this for another meeting, just so that I'm clear on how we're going to try to figure out the math on this. What was the intent, can you
I
tell
don't
us?
like any of that math.
Yeah,
I'm
everyone
not gonna
had,
lie, I hate all that math.
everyone had a different opinion, I
Yeah.
think was the math. 2 + 2 = 8.
Yeah.
I think we were, if I remember correctly, Sandy, correct me if I'm wrong on this, I think we had discussed different ways to kind of split the apple down the way. KP suggested doing a formula that allowed it to break down and give a percentage based on the larger percentage of the puzzle
Mm-hmm,
and see where those numbers went. We looked at, you know, just playing hardball on some of these and whether or not we had to make tough decisions or
Yeah.
where we wanted to go on those pieces, and I don't think anything was further, if my notes are correct, and they might not be, so let me know. I had down that we did end up funding the Council on Aging for 51.5.
Mm-hmm.
top four we're okay with.
I
Yeah.
think we went 50.
We went
There was
50 at the
50.
Oh, did we go
council.
Yeah.
50? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, even 50,
Well, I
yeah.
was going from my memory, so
Yeah.
luckily everyone else is better than mine. Town administrator scanning town documents 13,611.05.
Yes,
Town center 10,000.
yes.
Open space trail improvement 16,100.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't remember if we ended up voting on the Curtis field walking track, or
Yeah,
if we
we-
voted on the new ambulance,
We
but
took
we don't have
that,
the
we
minutes
took all
yet.
that money from the walking track, I thought.
Well, we didn't take
We
it,
didn't- Well,
we didn't
haven't-
approve it.
We
Okay.
haven't approved anything yet.
Right.
We didn't
Okay.
deny it either.
What about the ambulance? Did we approve that? Or we?
Yes.
The ambulance we
Okay.
approved.
Alright, so I'll just reflect my notes and send that out to everyone, so you
So
have it for
items
next time.
5, 6, 7, 8, and there's also a question, when Sandy and I were talking, you, on the cemetery, whether we had removed that, or was that part of our considerations?
We
when
didn't remove
we didn't
anything, we
remove
just
Okay.
didn't, we
Some
only
of
put
us
forward
had-
those projects.
Yeah, some of us, we all had different opinions on how to, like Chris wanted to do a straight
Yeah.
cut down the thing. I think like certain ones get cut off, and then we have to figure out how to make the best out of a bad situation with the rest, you know, and I think everyone had like their own different opinions.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a hot mess.
Cause I did the math for the thing that Chris had suggested, which was figuring out the amount that they had asked for, what percent of that was of the 53,000 plus. And then that would I would then take that percentage, and that would be the amount they would be cut. Here for You, for example, got really socked, cause her percentage was 59.2% of the entire money. But Sandy did it differently and had lower figures than I have, cause you said you just divided everything by 3, right? Or
Well, I
the
did
50.
it, I did it several different ways, but before we get into that, I also just wanted to mention that the police department had requests that totaled $36,000
Oh, yeah.
for radios
And we
and
approved those.
We did.
software, so you did approve those as well, which left $53,034.95
Amongst the
to
ones.
divide.
Does that include the stuff that came under? Because like the sign came under, and there was a couple.
No, because I talked to our town accountant, and that has to, what did she tell me? I can't remember now. We have to do something else with that before we can
Where you put it back
put
in
it back in the
kitty.
pool, kind of
Okay.
thing.
Because that, I mean, it's not a lot, but there was a couple of them that did come under. So that would add at least a couple more thousand to the pool,
Right.
you know, for the,
Well, then we can't really give any out till we figure out what we have.
well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't wanna
So this
make your
sounds
life
like
harder, but
an item
Well, if
for
we
the
don't know how
next-
much we have, then we can't really
Yeah, I
do
mean,
any further consideration
And
unless.
some of
anybody's
these other
fault.
things may come in,
under as well.
you just don't know,
How long can you hold these people off, you know?
Well, I think people would appreciate the fact that we have a full board reviewing things rather than get a partial board and not, I mean, some
Right.
people are gonna make out differently depending on who's voting on it.
No,
Yeah.
I
Right, and I-
agree, I think we should all be here.
and the fact that just so you know, because it took so long to get the rest of the ARPA money in, the second payments for that first round of ARPA just went out last week. So those people are just received their money. So it does take a while, we have until the end of December of '24 to spend, to
Yeah.
decide where the money's gonna be spent,
But you don't wanna
so,
hold it up
no,
on the people that
I agree.
you're trying to award the money to, but in the same sense, when can we get a sense of what this top money,
Wait,
the amount is? Right, you said 53, you said 034, I had 03995, but I don't know where.
03495 is what I have.
034?
I mean, worst case scenario, we have more money than we thought, not less money, so I don't think
Correct.
it's I don't think we necessarily have to wait on making decisions, I
No.
think we can always add more money to a cause or something later if we need to.
Mhm.
But I just think,
Oh,
you
I'm
know,
not trying
we
to do
need a
this
full
tonight.
board.
yeah, no,
I wanted to get clarified
It should be a full board.
We
what,
should be able to get an answer from our
How we was
accountant
supposed
before
to-
next time.
you know, how we were
Yeah.
supposed to get the amounts that we would be then kicking around, and, cause I just wanted to make sure that I was looking at it. I think this was Chris's intent, but I didn't know what the other one, and that meeting you weren't at, you were on the phone with us, right? Am I?
No,
She was
I've
here.
merged so many meetings
No, she
together.
was, she was here.
yeah,
Okay,
she was
alright.
here for that
She
one.
was here.
My bad, okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, so then we'll put it off till,
The next meeting.
got room for, what do we get, how's our next meeting lining up?
So that's the 21st.
Yeah.
So we'll
Probably
add it to
full.
the next meeting.
It's
Huh?
just full. When in doubt, they're all full. Just keep adding it. It's fine.
Okay, we'll try it,
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
alright then, okay. Oops, sorry about that.
Hopefully by then we can get a clarification on how much came in
Yeah.
at under. At least if we have clarification on what was under,
So then we're not talking about the auto place then? Who else?
Tonight,
You're right.
We don't know, he hasn't got,
we don't know
Okay.
anything, I
Yeah.
haven't heard back.
Other than we
And
know
this,
he's interested.
this is the
so-
money that it's coming from, you wanna come from ARPA to pay for the appraisal,
Yeah, we already appropriated.
inside and out though,
it was for
right?
$50,000,
It was a
right?
feasibility
I think it was
study.
Feasibility
It's 60.
study. So
Yeah.
it doesn't tell you whether you're gonna buy the place or not, it's
No.
just a study on whether, now, do they?
But we don't
I
wanna have that money disappear
I
either,
have a
because
question,
then
I mean,
the project's.
I drive by there, I look a lot of vehicles in the back property of that place, and it worries me about contaminated soil.
that's part of the feasibility
It
study.
is.
Yes.
That's what I needed to know. Thank you. I have nothing more to say.
Okay, so we'll put that to the next meeting, and that's about it. We don't have a town administrator report, right?
No,
She sent us the minutes
I do have one question on that, Jeff,
on the
I,
opera.
well, no, on the town administrator report, either
Okay.
here or a little bit earlier. I don't think we formally made an announcement at our meeting to the public to let them know what we've done with the town administrator position as far as hiring and the contract information and so forth. Cause our last meeting, as exciting as it was, when we negotiated the contract with, Nathan Boudreau, it was an executive session other than
Correct.
entering into it, so unless people happened to be here for the planning board meeting, they probably didn't get to meet Nate or any of that information, so I
Mhm.
didn't know if either yourself or Sandy wanted to just do a quick where we're at with that, so the public knows that we have a town administrator coming and when they're coming.
Sandy, okay, thank you.
so yes, on, last Wednesday night, we met with, Nathan Boudreau. He has agreed to a contract of 3 years with the town of Hubbardston.
30
30
months.
months.
30 months, I'm
30
sorry,
months.
yes. He will start November 28th, will be his first day. The contract is, 30 months. It's includes, his salary,
Mhm.
120 days,
after
hours for vacation, 3 weeks.
yes, 3 weeks vacation, 12 sick days a year, 2 personal days a year, a cell phone that he will have, a town cell phone with him, and,
Probationary period
a
until
probationary
July.
period, and he will,
7 months, yeah.
have a review and a potential increase after the 7 months as well.
And we usually put all of our contracts online, right?
Yes.
So it is signed and sealed and we'll get up online
We'll get
so
that up
people can look
online,
if they're interested.
yes, I was also going to put have Tony put something up on the website as well as far as, him starting, just an announcement type thing. I did send out a email today to all the department heads and stuff to let them know that he was starting on the 28th as well.
Excellent.
Thank you for that. Okay, anything else you wanna add as far as? That
Nope.
wasn't already on your minutes that you sent us?
No, we're just plugging along. We've had a busy few weeks collecting tax bills and, just preparing for the negotiations with Nathan, and we are now looking forward to his reign, as Ryan McLean called it.
Mhm. Okay, I'm assuming we have no policies to review. Matters not reasonably anticipated by the chair, I don't have any. Anybody else have anything?
Negative.
No public, no press, no executive session. Someone like to give us a motion to adjourn?
No executive? Anything?
Nope.
Alright, I would like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Motion made, second,
Aye.
all in favor?
aye.
Aye,
Meeting adjourned.
and we're done.